Hey guys, and welcome to this video tutorial. Today we're going to go over some introductory Dreamweaver techniques and how-tos as far as the program is concerned. First thing we're going to do is get familiar with the interface a little bit. What I've done right now is just simply opened up the program. I double-click the icon on the desktop, and you'll see that the welcome screen appears, and there's all sorts of options here. On the welcome screen. Okay, recent items that I've worked on. Okay, yours will probably be blank. All sorts of new documents that you can create. We're going to stick with just a few different types of documents for now. We'll get into some different ones later. And then you've got all sorts of different menus and panels and such that we'll review as well. Okay. The big one being the Files panel, which is down here in the right-hand corner of your screen. This is going to allow you to navigate through your site and sort and organize your files once we get going here. As you can see, it currently just shows my desktop because we haven't set up any websites as of yet, which we will in just a moment here. Okay, there's also the Insert panel, which anytime you want to collapse a panel, you can double click on it, or expand it, you double click on the tab again. Okay, so that's how you collapse and expand the various panels that you may be using. As far as those panels are concerned, at any time using Dreamweaver, there are all sorts of different panels that you can reveal or hide at the same time. Obviously, the Files panel has a check mark, so it's shown here. Insert has a check mark, etc. Okay, so that's how you manage the views over there in the different panels that are available. Down here at the bottom is the Properties Inspector. This is going to be a bunch of tools that help you format the current page that you're working on. Okay, we'll get into more of the details on that later. First thing I want to do is go ahead and look at setting up a new website. And there are a couple ways to do that. Using the Site Manager. If we look at this icon at the very top of the program, click it, you've got two options, New Site and Manage Site. Okay, we don't have any pre-existing sites to work on, so we're going to simply click New Site. Okay, site name. We're going to name this Halloween Practice. And local site folder. Now this is very important. If you haven't already done so, go ahead on your desktop and create a folder named Halloween Practice. Okay, I should provide these files for you, which I'll probably do. Okay, I have a folder named Halloween Practice with an images and a pages file or folder already in there. Okay, so we're just going to go ahead and select. We're not going to select an individual folder. We just want to select this Halloween Practice folder. Okay, select that. Okay, that's taken care of. Before we hit save, we're going to go over to Advanced Settings, and it's going to look for a default images folder. We're going to click that. Inside Halloween Practice, I've got this images folder all set, so I will just hit select. Web URL, we're not going to publish this, so we won't worry about that for now, and we're just going to go ahead and save. Okay, so now if we take a look in our Files panel, you can see that we've got the Halloween Practice site defined, as well as a couple different folders, a Pages folder, which is empty, and an Images folder that's got some information in there already that we're going to work with. Okay, but the first thing we want to do is create a new page. There are a couple ways to do that. First, real simple, just clicking right here, Create New HTML. But what I want to do is take a look at setting it up a different way, a way you will use more often once we get creating sites here. So in the site folder, I'm going to right click, choose New File, and as you can see, it is created as untitled.html. I'm going to name this Index. Okay, remember when creating a site, that index is always your home page. And one thing to keep in mind once we created this file is you can see that it's outside the Pages folder, and it's still just inside our root directory or root folder, meaning that it's visible when you open up the Halloween Practice folder. The other pages that we're going to create are going to be located inside the Pages folder. So let's go ahead and create those. I'm going to right click on it, select new file, name this one Ghosts. Okay, you'll see that that's inside the Pages folder. You can collapse that and expand it. Right click again, new file. We'll name this Pumpkins. Okay, and then on the Pages folder again, one more time, right click, new file. And finally, let's go ahead and name this Haunted House. Okay, as you can see, the name gets cut off, but you can expand your panels different directions and move the individual categories to expand them, etc. Okay, so you can style your workspace however you want there. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do, we got this set up now. We've got our pages inside our Pages folder, which I just collapsed, and our home page in our root directory or root folder. So I'm going to double click it. As you can see, it's blank. Okay, nothing special here. But Dreamweaver is what is referred to as a WYSIWYG editor, which stands for what you see is what you get. Whatever we design right here in the design view is how it's going to display on a web page. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is change the title of this document. And again, we'll just name this Halloween Practice. Okay, and hit enter. And we're ready to go. Okay, first thing I want to do is go ahead and insert a web banner. And you can do that a couple different ways. The way I'm going to do it is using the insert menu at the top. I'm going to insert an image. Okay, this image has been pre-saved in your images folder, and I just want to go ahead and open the Halloween banner. Okay, alternate text. When using Dreamweaver, we always want to include alternate text for a visitor to our site who may have a specific disability and uses a screen reader rather than actually views the content on the page. So for the alternate text, we'll go ahead and type Halloween banner. Hit OK or enter, and there you go. There's our banner. Now, let me show you how Dreamweaver differs big time from HTML. And there are a couple different views or ways to view the page that we can use. The first thing I'm going to do is go over to Code View, and we're going to look at our HTML. Okay, obviously we've got our HTML tags, title tags, okay, Halloween Practice, our body tag with image source equals, okay, our banner, specified width and height, alternate text, etc. So you can see how much easier Dreamweaver is than just coding HTML by hand. Very simple, and there's a lot of cool and powerful techniques we can use when working with Dreamweaver. A couple different views rather than code is the split view. Okay, you can see your HTML and your design view at the same time. Okay, it comes in handy when working with some intricate pieces of code there, but what we want to stick with for now is the design view, and you can switch those views at any time using the icons here. Okay, so I've got the Happy Halloween banner in there. Next thing I want to do is take a look at my insert panel. Okay, under the common category, there's some other ones there, but for now I'm going to stick with common. And what I want to do is insert a horizontal line or horizontal rule underneath my banner. So all I'm going to do is just click that there, and it automatically puts that line in there. Okay, pretty convenient. And I can go ahead and hit enter to continue on with my site. Now I want to show you an example of how you can still use HTML even if you're working with Dreamweaver. For example, I want this image to be centered. There are easy ways to do it in Dreamweaver, but for this example I'm going to go ahead and click it to highlight it. Switch over to Code View, where you can see that the image tag is highlighted. Just before that, I'm going to simply type in a center tag. As you can see, Dreamweaver helps you out with your code there, which is great too if you're working in the code. And I'm going to go ahead and end that center tag. Immediately when I enter my slash, it puts that center tag for me there. It knows to end that center tag. So when I go back to design view, you can see that the Halloween banner has now been centered. Okay. Let's take a look at entering some text here before we move on to the next step. And I'm just going to type Happy Halloween! Exclamation point. Okay, don't worry about that disappearing. We'll come back to why that happens here shortly. Okay, so happy Halloween. Couple things we can do here as far as editing the text. We can go ahead and highlight it, change the format. Right now it's just paragraph text. They have headings, remember 1 through 6. I'm going to choose heading 1. Okay, as you can see, that worked out pretty nice there. And if I wanted to type some different text here underneath it, you can stick with just paragraph. And let's go ahead and type a couple sentences. This is some sample text for our Halloween website. Okay, so as you can see there, we've got some text in there, our banner, horizontal line, all sorts of cool stuff. Now before we go on to anything else, let me show you how to change the background color, background image, that sort of thing. And we're going to do that under the Modify menu at the top and go to Page Properties. Okay, and for now we're just going to stick with Appearance HTML. We'll get into CSS a little later. It's a little more in-depth, but not too bad here. And Appearance.html or Appearance HTML. Background image. I'm going to browse my image folder. I'm going to select the candy corn image, hit OK, apply that. As you can see now, my background image is candy corn. This isn't a great image to use because you can see the borders there. So let me go ahead and choose a different image here. Let's try spooky background. Apply that. And as you can see, this one works a little better than the candy corn image. Alright, so that's where you can modify the background image. If you just wanted to go with a background color, I would just delete that. Click here, find a color to my liking, hit apply. Now you can see the background just changes color, okay, which would probably be a little more appropriate for this page, so you can still see your text and that sort of thing. Okay, there's also options to change the text color, your standard options there, as well as visited links, active links, all sorts of stuff there. Alright, so that's step 1 in using Dreamweaver to create some web pages using the WYSIWYG, what you see is what you get workspace. We'll continue on the next tutorial.